Welcome to the Bullpen Report. I'm Jason Gilbo at JGilbo11. Taking a look at some bullpens here on June 4th. Couple injury concerns here. Jumping right into it, Brad Boxberger right back on the DL. Looks like it's going to be another 4 to 8 week stint there. So luckily, I mean, for Alex Colomb owners, you got him back. You should have never really have dropped him anyway. If you made the move for Boxberger, it's kind of no big deal. You can just kind of drop him at this point because Colomb's going to be kind of the guy the rest of the way. Colom's been very solid as a closer. You know, we touched on him a couple times already. ERA below 1.5, and 11.8 K through 9 there. So you like those numbers. 13 saves on the year, just locked down another one. A very solid guy to have on your back end there. Brewers got something going on here. Will Smith returned from the DL a few games ago. He could be a guy who rivals Jeffers as a guy for some save opportunities. And Smith, I mean, had that torn LCL, so no job was really won there at the beginning of spring training, and they were kind of both in play. Craig Counsell says he feels comfortable to kind of use both of them closing games. You could see some sort of closer by committee there, a situation where they just kind of switch off. I'm not too sure yet, but at the moment, I mean, with what Counsell said, you could make a case for picking up Smith and seeing where they head with this. But either way, I mean, he's a guy to keep an eye on. Solid potential. Obviously some great ratios for your fantasy team. So definitely keep him on the watch list. As far as the Cubs situation goes, back when Lester started winning through the complete game against the Dodgers, Hector Rondon was not warming up, and that kind of put some injury speculation, which came out that he did have a stiff back. And Pedro Strop was a guy who was, you know, warming up and going to get the close situation. Strop's been solid this year, 2.27 FIP, 12.4 K through 9. So not a bad backup guy to kind of keep in the wings if Rendon does have something more serious. So I think this is a situation to kind of keep an eye on. It could be nothing, and probably likely will be just a sore back. But Rendon's still a guy Strop could be a guy to just kind of keep an eye on there. Angels situation, we got Houston Street made his return from the DL, picked up a win. Perfect inning against Detroit. Street's not going to give you anything spectacular. I mean, just a 4.1 K through 9. You could argue that he's been very lucky during the time he has played this year. 4.39 FIP, very low left on base percentage. You know, in a poor BABIP as well. So I think you could look at Street and just say, you know, one, is it worth, you know, having him on your team? Sure, but all he's going to give you is kind of saves. So he's nothing really special there. Touching on some situations that we mentioned that we saw over the last week. Obviously, the Twins continues to be a disaster. Kevin Jepsen, yes, picked up 2 saves, but overall, I mean, you look at the saves he picked up, allowed 2 earned runs in one of them. Also was bailed out by bad base running. He had guys at the corners with nobody outs, and it looked like it was heading towards another blown save. So it is something that really, yes, he's picked up 2 saves, but he's been awful this season. ERA over 5, just a 6 K through 9. Fernando Abad could be a guy who you might see pick up some opportunities soon. I mean, I'm hoping so, because it's pretty clear Jepsen's not getting the job done. Twins aren't going to give you a ton of save opportunities anyway at the pace they're winning games. So there's something. The weekly kind of Reds breakdown. Cingrani, tough outing in Coors. Overall, 4 saves this month, but allowed a 3.73 WOBA to hitters, nearly a 5 ERA in that span as well. Decent strikeout rate, but the walks I can't stand. And by far, this is the worst bullpen in the league. And it's a situation where I just stay away. I don't like taking shots at Cingrani, any of the guys that occasionally maybe get a look. It's just a bad situation. A couple AL West situations got going on. Luke Gregerson had a nice stretch, but ran into some trouble against Arizona. He's had kind of an up-and-down season. Yes, he has 13 saves, but overall, I mean, sometimes it hasn't been pretty, and you could see something change there in Houston. As far as Oakland, Ryan Madson, Sean Doolittle, looks like it's going to be kind of a committee going forward. Bob Melvin, probably going to use him situationally, given Doolittle's a lefty. Kind of frustrating, and kind of we're all losers in this situation. And depending on your league, it might not be worth it to keep him there on a spot, just given that you might end up with maybe 1 or 2 saves at best on a month per basis if both of them are getting opportunities. So it's a little disappointing. That's going to wrap it up for this week's Bullpen Report. Be sure to check out fantasybaseballcafe.com for all our great content.